Okay, this is the second piece of hints on the restricted total for Project 6, CIS 204 Unix Shell Scripting and Utilities. Let me get out of this Kazam nonsense. And we'll take a peek. The first video showed an attempt to calculate a good quantity from the quantity of 100 million, and that was going to take a while. And in fact, that might have taken all of spring break the way this thing works. Let's take a peek here and do something fun. I'm going to show you the restricted shell again, and it's been modified just a bit. Basically, if somebody makes a mistake and puts in 1,000,000 of something, it's not going to work in this process. Yeah, there's a possibility that somebody does need 1,000,000 of something, but for what we're doing, maybe that's not going to work. So what I've done is I've gone in and I've added the sleep 5. That gives me enough time to get to the stopwatch to kind of give you an idea how long this thing takes. Now, granted, this is a pretty slow machine. Let me show you this thing here. It's Intel Pentium processors. So, we're not talking about a machine that's cripplingly fast. In fact, it's cripplingly slow in the grand scheme of things. But what I've done up here is I've added some code that's if-then-else loop. It's not really very tight, but it's good enough to get us through this thing. Basically, it's going to look to see if the quantity is greater than 1,000. And if it's greater than 1,000, it's going to come back and say, hey, give me a new number. And then check it to see if it's greater than 1,000. And just for grins, to give them a hard time, I've added this line, account suspended. What? So anyhow, we're going to run this with the thing with, we're going to try 1,000. And we'll go from there. Now, remember that sleep 5 is in there. When it runs, that'll give me a chance to wander back here and get the system monitor and the stopwatch up and running. So price per unit 5, quantity 1,000. And let me enter. I've got 5 seconds to get this started. I'm going to start the timer. I'm going to bring this up and we're going to take a look at, there it is. Okay. Stop. In the grand scheme of things, it was less than 10 seconds. Let's zero these out and we'll go from there. Let's try a different quantity. 5 and 10,000, right? Okay. Hit enter. Bring this up. Start. And we'll watch the CPU jump here. It's going to take it a little bit. And it's going to tax those Pentium high-speed processors. I think this takes right around a minute to get through 10,000 units. And what's happening is it's recalculating. It's dropping that quantity by 1. And that code is being run over and over and over again. It keeps dropping it by 1 until it gets to a price that's $500 or less. And we're still calculating. There it is. Okay. So it's about 1:16. Okay. Now the CPUs ought to start falling down here. Yep, and they're falling away. Okay. So let's go back in and VI that shell again. And we'll get this thing going. Okay, and I can get rid of this sleep 5. Okay, now, we don't need the stopwatch anymore. And we can drop the system monitor. So what's going to happen here? Let's try this. Restricted total shell. Enter price per unit. Enter quantity. 1001. Oh, can't be greater than 1000, eh? There we go. I hit 1000. And it ran through that, right? Okay, so what's happening bash-x? So I'm restricted to purchases under 500. I'm going to set the purchase price at 5. I'm going to set the quantity at 1001. Bad quantity number. So 1001 is greater than 1000. Cannot be greater than 1000. Please re-enter. So let me give it 1001 again, and we'll show you what happens here. So it reads 1001 is greater than 1000. It's going to echo account suspended. It's going to exit with the 13. Echo $? There it is, 13. Cool. Did exactly what we wanted it to do. So let's try that again. Price per unit 5. Quantity 1001. Okay. 101. There it is. Echo 5 times 101, 505. 505 is greater than 500. Let quantity equal quantity minus 1. Then take 5 times 100. It works. Drops it out. Shell runs. Echo $? Right? 0. Cool. Did exactly what we expected it to. And did it in a manner that makes life easy. So that gives you kind of an idea of how to get around this. I could be here for 2 years if I give you a really bad number.